Calling all the women, calling every single mother. Oba, woman, let us unite. Come, mamas, come and save your child. Baby earth is reeling and willing and needs your tender embrace. Mothers of the universe, Mother Nature's ties. Ooh, come save your child. Come save your child. I say come sisters, come and take back your child. This crazy world is breaking and burning and needs your strength right away.
I want to use this time to welcome you all here for this all-important discussion, the upcoming Women's Conference. And I hope this discussion is going to be a fruitful one, and we're going to achieve the reason why we are here. Thank you. Madam Joel Howard Taylor. Special remark.
Thank you. Good morning, Legislative Caucus, and to all of our partners and to the women who've come to this very important meeting. I know it was at a short notice, but we can't wait because there is so much that needs to be done. About 2 weeks ago, I received an invitation to go and visit the Angie Brooks Center at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I think it was just 2 days or so after the elections. And a lot of things were discussed. Some of you who were in that meeting are here, and others who might not have been there. But we ended up our discussion with the fact that we needed to come together in spite of our differences. Mariah, you didn't introduce yourself. At ABEC, and we're talking about the way forward and how it was important to pull some of the issues together so the office of the Vice President has some direction, but that also all of us have a direction as to where we want to go. If you were at the football field on the day we honored the President, he made a very significant comment when he said that as far as he is concerned, he's shown beyond all reasonable doubt that he is a believer of the Constitution that provides 50-50 opportunities for everybody. Yes. And because of that, he had chosen a vice president who was female to prove that he was a gender activist. In fact, he's a he-for-she champion for over 3 years, working with us on some of the gender issues that we had. And so we thought it was important to come together and begin some discussions. I had asked ABEC to hold the initial discussions and put in place a small program that will call us to go back. Since 2015, under the Ministry of Gender, there was a women's, I think, 2 or 3 day meeting held at the Painesville City Hall, and some decisions were taken there. As we begin this new 6-year period, I think it was important for us to come back together and come up with a framework that we able all of us to give our fullest to the processes that we would like to see. And after the ABEC and some of the other women got together and put together the program, we realized that there were still some people missing. And there was complaints coming from some areas that they were not part, they didn't know what was going on. And so I asked them to hold off where we were and to allow all of us to come this morning to talk about this 1 or 2 days symposium. I think it's a 1-day program because a lot has already been done by the Ministry of Gender, so that we can come together and see where we are and what our agenda will be for the next 6 years, which provides a guideline for all of us to follow. So that is why we called this meeting. I want to say thank you again to all of the members from the Legislative Caucus and all of you who've come from different sectors, even those of you who come from the states for the inauguration and you're still here, because it's a women's issue and all of us must be a part of what we're doing. And so we call this organizing meeting to hear how far we've gone in terms of what is available, what the budget looks like, how we want this program held, and how all of us can put our input to make sure that at the end of it, we achieve one simple thing: an agenda that the women will have for the next 6 years as a guideline to help all of us do the work that we do. So that at the end of this period, we are able to gauge where we are, what we have done, whatever the shortfalls are. We also need to look at, over the past 12 years, where, what are some of the shortfalls? How can we make sure that the incoming government doesn't make some of the same mistakes or some of the same gaps that were created? Let me not say mistake, I meant gaps. So that some of the gaps that were left as a result of the first female president, because I know she did the best she could under the circumstances. She remains an eminent person for Liberia and Africa, and I'm sure we'll invite her to that meeting too, so she gets a chance to give us some advice on how she thinks we can proceed. So I think this is the reason why we have called this meeting. I would like to turn it over to Georgia so that we can, again, just talk about where we are, what we want to do, and as we plan this very important meeting so everybody will be involved. We are hoping that the Ministry of Gender, who did the last meeting, can guide us, because we wanted to ensure that there were women coming from the counties, because it is a national women's agenda, not one person. There are some documents, the gender policy, the women's manifesto, there are some documents from YWCA. We just need to put everything together and see how we can create one document that helps all of us perform the different functions for which we have been elected, so that at the end of this period, women are not again let down because we probably didn't come together and do what we need to do. Let me say here in this public manner, I know that there are many issues, and I think at that meeting we'll have time to talk about some of them, but I think the fact is that we need to forget whatever has happened. There were political considerations where we were, there were social considerations, there were all kinds of considerations in the political process. Howbeit, we now have a mandate to pull women together so that we can work together for the good of our children and for the good of rural women, especially who might not live in Montserrat, but that are affected by some of the decisions we've taken. So thank you so much to everyone for finding time to come. God bless all of us.
I'm pleased to be here representing UOMI along with my colleague and my other two UN colleagues, Catherine and Ayo. Basically, just to reaffirm our commitment to support the organization of the Women's Conference and to let you know that we are available in terms of supporting the planning process and also in any other way that we deem fit. So we're happy to be here and you're listening, and we will participate when necessary. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kuma. I'll now call on Councillor Yvette Chelsea-Bear from Abbey to give us the details.
Once more, good morning, everyone. I first want to really thank Her Excellency the Vice President for this forum. And I also want to thank the fact that she's a unifier. That the way in which you started this meeting, Madam Vice President, sets the tone for the meeting. Not of Liberian women being not united, but enhancing our unity. And the fact that you emphasize the matter of our unity and us coming together to move forward is very important, because that's what this meeting is about. Our understanding when we met with you was exactly that. How can we move forward with this administration? How can Liberian women be on the stage? How can Liberian women take their rightful places to move forward as a nation side by side with our men? That is important. That we set benchmarks, that we know what we want, because we as women cannot sit there and be silent. We must say what we want and must mean what we want, and we must contribute to what we want. And that has to happen. And that can only happen if we have a consultative forum where we set out what it is, the different mandates, where we want to go, what we want to see, when we want to see it, and how we will participate to get there. We are not here to recline, my people. These wonderful, eminent women you see here who are in the legislative caucus did not get here by shutting their mouth and laying down. They fought fights, and the fights were bloody. And first of all, I think we should give them a resounding clap. So, ladies, thank you. Thank you very much for putting us where we are and keeping us there. We know it was not easy. To our Vice President, we thank you for ascending to this office. We, the women of Liberia, are very proud that you are there, that's where you are. Now it is up to us to make sure that not only do we keep these women there, but that we increase them as the senatorial elections come forth. That we see more members in the legislature to support these women with the agenda that we, the women of Liberia, are now going to make as part of our going forward. It is on that basis that we have come together. We've had consultative meetings with some of the organizations already. Well, I will let the co-chair, Councillor Felicia Coleman, tell you exactly where we are with everything. But I want you to know that we are really looking forward to crafting this agenda and putting in benchmarks, my people, putting in dates, time of achievement, timelines, and being sure that we achieve what we said we're going to achieve. Councillor Coleman.
Thank you, Your Excellency, members of the House of Senate and House of Legislature. Let me say congratulations to all of you. After the meeting that we had with Her Excellency, at the time she was Vice President-elect, and we had a discussion, two things actually came out of that meeting. That it was necessary that she immediately meet the women of Liberia so we can brainstorm and so we can talk. We needed to set an agenda. We needed to move forward, and we needed to do it fast. In fact, she has suggested the day after election. And that what we said, Your Excellency, you will have guests in town, it will not be possible. Can we do it a week after? And she agreed, and we had set a date for the 31st. So the first thing let me say what the two things that came out of that meeting. First, it was necessary to have an all-Liberian consultative forum where we have Liberians coming from all over Liberia, from all different political subdivisions, from all the different women organizations, come together and let's talk. And let's bring out and brainstorm and see what our priorities are. And then at the end of the day, we will be able to set an agenda for women of Liberia that the Vice President will champion. So, and the second thing that came out of that discussion, the Vice President came up with a very, very brilliant idea. That we set up a website. Considering the promise that had been made where women will be given equal opportunity when it comes to political participation, when it comes to job opportunities, she suggested, why don't we organize or set up a website where women can upload their CV, their resume. So in the case that women, not necessarily government, but employers looking for a professional woman in any discipline, can easily go to that website, look at the CVs of women, and be able to make a decision. So we immediately started on that. We said that was an immediate thing, and we started immediately. Today the website is up, and I want you all to immediately take down the name of the website if you have not. I think we need a bigger hand than that. Yes, the website is up. It has been tested, and it is working. So let me get the website. You take your pens, because if you have not uploaded your CV, do it now. And it's www.oln all in, the other one I'm talking is all in lowercase, I mean small letters, WSR, career, CAREER.org. And this system that has been done is simple. But one of the other things that we have also done was, or we are also doing, and Francis is one of those in charge, Francis Greaves, we are getting CVs from women in around the country who do not have access to internet. And we are uploading it on the website for them. So when you leave here today, upload your CV. You never know, it may be government looking for somebody, it may be another employer, or it may be someone looking for a woman. You know we are women and we are individuals with integrity. People look for us. Okay, so the first thing we did, we met with a few women like Roslyn who suggested, you know, we had a steering committee. So those are the members of the steering committee that met and started planning the program. Yeah, please stand. All the members of the steering committee who have been working with us so hard, please stand. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So we had an initial meeting. There were others who were invited who did not show up. But these are the women who have been working since the mandate was given to us to go and organize a consultative forum. And so we have worked with the Vice President's office, and we have been working with partners, looking for partners, and you know it's not easy finding money. And I can tell you, UN Women have come out and has agreed to sponsor this. And UNMIL, UN Women and UNMIL. And we should acknowledge them and thank them. Later on, Vida will tell us about what, you know, the budget, that I know the different figures, so she'll tell us about the budget. But we had a program committee, and chair of that program committee, we set up different committees. I'm one of those who believe in not doing the work. I texted the people to do the work, but I follow up. And so we had several committees: transportation committee, housing, accommodation. Then we had the website committee, and then, like I said, the website committee, we need to thank Esther Pega, Victor, Sierra Victor, Calvin Coleman, and what was the other guy name? What's his guy? The other guy that proposed for the venue to be at the Painesville City Hall, which was agreed upon by the former city mayor. And the program should have been held on the 31st, which is today. And the program draft read this: 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., arrival, registration, and breakfast. 9 a.m., welcome remarks by Councilor Felicia Coleman, co-chair steering committee. 9:05, overview of the program by Councilor. No. That was the first draft, so we decided to give it to her first.
I mean, just send to maybe 1 or 2 so I think we can float it around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Overview by Councilor Chesson read. 9:15 to 9:25, special remarks by Her Excellency Joel Howard Taylor, Vice President, Republic of Liberia. The first session, we had Uniting Liberian Women by Brenda Brewer Moore to facilitate this session. And then at 11:25, we had musical entertainment and coffee break. I was given the task to contact Her Excellency the Ambassador Julie Andy, but because I didn't put her name in at the time. 11:35 to 12:45, women empowerment and political participation. Where are we? Where we want to go, the challenges in getting there. And we had a facilitator, Honorable Mona H. Youngblood, Representative District Number 9, and Honorable Magdala Cooper, one of the contestants for the presidency. And then we had conclusions and then lunch. From 1:45, at 11:45 again, we had musical entertainment. From 1:50 to 3 p.m., we had a group discussion on women in the security sector.
looking at early warning systems, our well-being, and where are we, key leadership positions, where do we want to go, recruitment and retention. This will be facilitated by Councillor Abla Williams and Attorney Asatuba. The next one was women and health. And women and healthcare, their reproductive rights, and we had Councillor Coleman and Dr. Wilhelmina Jala. Then group discussions on women and education. We have Ms. Felicia Saki Dosoma and Ms. Mari Herring. And then another group discussion on economic empowerment of women. We had Honorable Mary Brew and Esther Pega. These women were the women that we're naming so far were asked, with the exception of Honorable Youngblood, who I did not reach, but her name was in the draft program, and I apologize. Facilitators for the group discussion for the youth, we have Ms. Fasia Harris and Alberta Doe. Then another plenary section with group discussions and the way forward. Closing remarks by Her Excellency and a vote of thanks by Madam Rosalyn Toe. This was the first draft that we were supposed to submit for the program. In addition to that, the program committee was tasked to develop the billboards if it was approved, and the banners for the hall, and the flex banners for the different working groups. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me just throw a little more light. This first section will be plenary, or that's what we are proposing. The first section will be plenary, where we will be talking about uniting Liberian women, and we say it will be facilitated by Brenda Brewer-Moore. She will facilitate that section, and we have open plenary. We have an opportunity for women to express themselves, and we'll talk and talk, but we got 2 hours for that section in the second section. And then after that section, then we have the second section on women empowerment and political participation. And that section we're supposed to be asking Honorable Youngblood to be facilitator of that section. If anything, you hold the chairman that she didn't reach you before we put your name, and we apologize, Your Excellency. And she again, it will be plenary section, and similar to what we did on honor the women, where we have women thematic areas, and we're going to break up in groups. So when you come in, you're going to sign off on the different areas where you want to be. Whether it's women in peace and security, women, peace and security, or women and education, or economic empowerment of women, or what are going to be women and healthcare. How many of these activities, and we'll come out with, if we come up with, for instance, we talk about women and HIV. If we think it's a big issue, we will then look at what kind of activities we want to do to overcome that issue. And then now we'll decide how we go about doing it. And then over the first year, we hope Your Excellency, maybe the first year, for your work plan, we'll leave those different activities. Maybe come over 4 or 5, not too many. So by the time the first year ends, we'll be able to show that we have achieved something, maybe in health, in education. Maybe we'll get one activity in each of those 5 thematic areas. Again, there are far more thematic areas than we have listed. But unfortunately, we could not discuss all of them, and so the committee came up with these 5 areas. And so that's why we selected those 5 areas. Again, the purpose why we are here, this is just a draft. We are open, and well, let me not say that, let Her Excellency say, you know that. But Your Excellency, this is the draft program. This is what we want to do. We have been speaking with UN Women, and we have another tentative date, and the Vice President will announce that date and tell us whether it's still tentative or it's definite. Thank you, Your Excellency.
That whenever you want a musical this kind of event, it is good to know in advance so that you create a theme based on the theme that you can come up with music. because it's not professional and it's not prudent to go to a program where you're talking about women's leadership and empowerment, then you be talking about I saw my kima and my kima coming, yeah. You got to sing according to the theme. So I would appreciate if you look at me as a dancer and a musician, that's okay, but let me know so that I put the theme together. Thank you, my Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, for inviting me, but I have a guest in country. I have a visiting guest, that's why I'm like this, so I just your respect of my God. I already won't be here. Vest.
And that's why I ate too. Yes. And we are here, my own investigation will not leave for you, so that's all I want. Can you answer?
Your topics, she may change the title. It is the planning committee, so Your Excellency the Ambassador, we have not reached to you because we have not developed anything without the Vice President's consent. This draft is being circulated today, so all of us can look at it, make the necessary corrections, and input. Your name was mentioned not only as a dancer, but as a participant. We said that all the women that will be here, we will have our own program. We will do everything ourselves. So you are not a dancer, you are a participant. You can contribute to any of the sections there that will be of your interest and advice to the Vice President. Thank you.
Initial papers were drawn up as to the way we should proceed, and we said it was important to call everybody so that we can look at all of the issues and formulate the way we want it to be. We just need to say thank you to those who took the initiative to put these documents together. But if we were at the point of final decision making, and we'll be saying, yeah, your invitation, we're not there yet. I think it's an important event, and we needed to make sure that everybody was in there. Some people who are still not here, because we reached out to some people, other people traveled, others' phones were off. So we said it would be important for us to come together with a draft, and it's a draft, as they are saying, because even members of the legislative caucus haven't gotten copies of this draft yet. That's why I beg all of them to please come, so together we can determine the way forward. As a social worker, which I believe you are, I'm talking to Sis Julie Andy, Ambassador Julie Andy, there's no way we can talk about women's issues without talking about the social welfare aspect of what we do. So if people feel left out, the corporate people, the Ministry of Gender, everybody needs to play a role so that we can do this in one way and all of us can be involved. So let me say, we are sorry, we were just trying to jump the gun a little bit, to get the process started. And when you come to a meeting like this, you have to have a formula. And that formula now can be discussed, expanded. I think the program committee, other people can get on it, but I think that's why we're here. So please don't take any offense to the fact that a proposal has been brought forth. I thought it was important to come up with a proposal so that we can all discuss it and find the way forward. So with that being said, I think we can, if it's okay with you guys, if we can get just a briefing of what the proposed budget is like, and then we go into the discussions as to how we think others can be a part, what the thematic areas are, if we want to expand that, and then we take it from there. Is that okay with everybody? Yeah. Get a copy? Okay, Madam Fofana.
The title that you didn't announce there is you say our caucus leader, and we think you will remain our caucus leader for now. And let me thank the Angie Brooke for coming up with the idea and all the women. I just like to follow what Ambassador Judy Andy said. When I got the invitation to come to this meeting, I thought it was the Women Legislative Caucus meeting. I didn't know it was this meeting. But from past experiences, 6 years working with the Gender Ministry and many of the beautiful women on different issues, I would recommend that and beg your indulgence for time's sake and other things that we put out a technical committee. Now that we know the idea, I think the most important thing is for us to know that we have the great women planning great things to happen for Liberian women and here in Africa. And I think we all approve of what is happening. And so it would be better for a technical team comprising of other groups to add it to these people so that they can work behind the scene and then give up updates through point people. Instead of all of us coming here to talk on one issue and discussing details, I think it will be a little bit troublesome. So let us all forgive each other that you were not in the know before, but the bottom line is there's a great idea that something good is about to happen. Because we have the two different manifestos, and that's why I was asking her, I said, which manifesto are we talking about here? He said, well, you look at them, it's all the same thing. Because we all been doing this women thing. So set up a technical committee that will review the budget, maybe other additional information so that they can do it in consultation with you, and then maybe one general meeting to let us know what will be happening, and then we go there instead of.
So that's the first recommendation.
That's my recommendation.
That the
Loretta A. Pokai, representing the West African women of young female leaders. It's the ECOWAS women leaders, and I represent the young women, and I'm the president for Liberia chapter. I want to say thank you to my great women for organizing this initiative. It's good, and we buy into the idea. But as we're saying, we need more time to plan, and we need to do it from a holistic approach. So I want to suggest here that we have a great event that is upcoming too, and women are going to be represented. It's a global event, and at the national level, we have celebration that feeds into the global event. So I also want to suggest that this national conference be pushed to the International Women's Day in commemoration of the International Women's Day as one of the activities for the IWD.
one suggestion has already been made in addition to Honorable Julia Duncan's comment that we expand the group. So I think that's the first recommendation, that the expansion will include some other key organizations so that they can sit together. I think we have already said that. Do we have other comments so that we can actually wind this down and let people go to work? So let's leave the issue of the fact that we need to add others. I think Bariamu carefully said they need to expand the groupings. So let's hear from other people.
Madam Vice President, you are a peacemaker, and you are looking forward to a collective effort for us to move the women's agenda. But I'm a different person, and I want to apologize for what I'm about to say. Firstly, before I say what I want to say. So bear with me with what I will tell you. This is how I feel. That's my feelings. And that's what this whole meeting is all about. I'm in the reverse mode, Madam Vice President. The energy and the enthusiasm towards the women's agenda. For me, I'm in one little corner and I'm in the pause mood. You will be the one to motivate me to get back into that young blood that will attend every Liberian women meeting, because I saw the women fought their own door to be shut before their face. We cannot move forward if we do not talk about what has happened. I am sorry if you are offended. We did ourselves wrong. It is by the power of God, His purpose for Liberian women. That's why, Madam Vice President, you are seated where you are seated, and we still see that. I remember on the radio when I asked the women of Liberia, how do I trust you as a young woman? Because I sat with you, we agree on something as a group of women of the nation, and I see women are reneging. I call you a women. Where is the document that you spend your money behind? Yes. Why aren't you talking? I call Onmil. Onmil, you were at that meeting. Did we waste your time? Did we waste Onmil money? Why did we sit in Pinsway Town Hall and discuss what we discussed And today, this one woman have emerged, and I see Liberian women are running helter-skelter fighting against their own gender.
Yes.
Madam Vice President, you don't want this here today. Me, are the fixer, are the spoiler, are the child, and are the honorable. So, Madam Vice President, you want us to progress as women. I saw you run around in these chambers for that bill to pass.
Yes.
I came to you, I said, Madam Vice President, the way I see the floor too tense. That way for one way you say, Mona, that put it there. We put it there, and those men killed it.
Yeah.
And so when I saw you as the vice standard bearer under the coalition, I said it's time for the women to run back to their document and run with it.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I called names of women that day on the radio. Their children were calling me to insult. I said, trust me, I was born in New Town and I grew up in Low Town. I'm waiting for your children and I will answer you. But I'm saying this to say that we have crossed a very deep sea and we have landed here. We must recognize our mistakes as women of Liberia. We disappointed ourselves. Not because God still gave us the opportunity. I remember us appearing at a program at the City Hall, and they were saying, you gave the female lawmakers a seat. And you could hear them saying, we're not giving them a seat, let them just come and make her among us. Because some people come and move onto that seat, so we'll come and get a seat. We're going to election until they come back, we'll get a proper seat. That day, Madam Haja Fata Sanyo, we all went to the program. And I just stood out watching and I said, wow, really? But we will come back and we have returned. But we return with different sense of direction. And we must be sincere to ourselves. Let us start playing games with our own problems. We need to start. So, Madam, I want to say thank you so much for instituting this. But there must be a session called Serious Truth for serious people to make serious progress. So we went out because there are women sitting here with anger, but they are just sitting in their nice fancy lapa suit and just being diplomatic, but something burning inside of them. And we need to create a platform where they will pull up that thing out of themselves so we can get them to move in the direction. Because like for me now, I'm sitting here, nobody expects me to be having that kind of thing inside me. But I don't want to carry me so. So when you put me on something, that 8 o'clock I supposed to come, I can't 10 o'clock, then you look at me and say, but what did they just say? She didn't see your money waiting for she come late. You can't even show whether at the end of the day what we come up with, we stand by it. Because we saw one document where we all were on radio doing different things. Every day we talk about our own self-worthing ourselves. So I hope we're ready now to move forward sincerely and diligently and be committed to our cause. Because for me right now, my Vice President, like I said, I impulse.
We press the button.
I was in tears on the radio when women were calling. When you say you who to remind us about waiting. Yes, I went to 3-4 radio stations and I told you in the campaign that I was going to remind the people about that document. But there were some women that were committed to that document. And we want to say thank you to those of you that saw that document. Some of you can't read and write, but you remember the thing we talked. And you ran with it in your villages. We want to say thank you. Those of us that could read and write, and we felt that we have political stance, we must come back to the point where we understand that certain time of our political sojourn, we got to drop it and hold on to our agenda. Y'all thank you, my people.
I want to thank Honorable Pelham Youngblood for raising this issue. But you know, I understand exactly how she feels because I know how I felt. But where we are today, we must let go and let go. if God, in the midst of all of our prayers, in our interactions, in our engagements, can bring us to this place, then we have more of a responsibility to continue to work. And so I will be the first to say, let's forgive one another as we sit on the old mat. And so I want to ask one of our young blood and some of those who feel, because I know there are some people here who feel that way, that we just have to take it to the next level. Because God settled the issue. If God settled the issue, who are we not to be holding it back? I believe the first session that talks about enhancing unity amongst Liberian women, if we want to change the name, reconciliation, or whatever way we want to put it, the very first session has to deal with that. Because truthfully, if we don't find a way to work together as women, and everybody will not come on board. Now I've gotten to that point to realize that everybody will not come on board. If you hear some of the stories about, some of the meetings that were held, some people almost 40, some of those meetings were not small things. What has happened, and I wanted to make an adjustment before even this first session, that we probably get a report from the Ministry of Gender on the current status of the women's agenda. Because I think they're clothed with the responsibility to tell us, after 6 years, with all of the different documents that we're talking about, where are we? And then we can talk about, out of 2017, what are some of the lessons that we've learned? How can we adjust our behavior and begin to work together? So I think, Honorable Youngblood, I want to say thank you. I think it's important to say what you have said, but we'll take you for on pause. So that together, because the women in the legislature are so critical. We are so critical. I mean, even now, the fact of the matter is, coming together as women, people are in different political parties, people did different things. They're happening even among us. That certain things are happening or certain things happen. We took a posture as a political party, and some of the decisions we take will be fulfilling our political party agenda. It might not make other people happy, but again, this is the way life is. But can we now, in spite of all of these little things, find a way to come together? Because if we don't work to make sure that what the women are talking about are actually implemented here, then it'll just be another conversation. We hope that everybody will let go and let go. Thank you.
As the Vice President rightly put it, we at the ministry and in consultation with my bosses, of which from here I will be informing them of whatever decision I will be taking from here, and that will be agreed upon by the women of Liberia, taking the message over. We are happy that we are part. So we have a team for this consultative forum. Do we have a team?
What do you suggest?
No, do we have a team? Okay, I
suggested team. What's the suggested team?
The team.
Yes, the team. What is it?
Uniting to craft the Liberian women's agenda.
Okay.
Uniting to craft the Liberian women's agenda.
Okay. We have so many agendas. Hello. We have so many agendas, as we all know. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And so this year theme for the International Women's Day is they are looking at pressing for progress. Pressing for progress, press for progress. That is the theme that they will be looking at, that we will be looking at this year when it comes to International Women's Day. And I think this whole idea of this consultation is we are now trying to see how we press for the progress that we have had over the period of time, and we see we want to move towards that progress. So I am just suggesting that we look at that, where we press for progress. Liberian women pressing for progress. Yes, Liberian women pressing for progress.
say to all of us, we are still to square one. So I would suggest that those resolutions, listen, we have not implemented the resolution. I can stay here and say we have not implemented a resolution. Just a recent one was what Honorable Youngblood talked about. So what we need to do is to get all those resolutions and bring them forward and see what has happened with those and what has not happened. Because if we don't do that, we keep getting resolution, we keep holding conferences, and we keep spending money, and there will be no result. I think that's okay.
Hello? And if you listen to me a few minutes ago, I said it would be important to add at the beginning of this program, where are we? So the Ministry of Gender should be able to present to us over the 6-year period since it's been in their line of work. Where are we? What are the instruments that we have? What have we done with what we haven't done? Then we can put something together at the end of the day to say, based on A, B, C, and D, this is our way forward. So I think we're all on the same page. We're all on the same page that the Ministry of Gender, who has this statutory responsibility, will tell us where all of these different instruments are. Because I think it's out of the instruments that even the gender policy was done. So the gender policy, maybe a lot of people haven't read it. We need to get copies again and read it to find out. You'd be surprised that some of the things already inside. So when we sit at that meeting, copies will be made available for us to look at. And then we get an idea of where we are, how we can move forward. So I think it's not outside of the comments made. So let's try to not repeat what other people say, or it will stay at the 5 o'clock. This meeting is intended for a 2-hour period, so that we can at least reform some of the things and ask for other people to go and come back to us with a formula. So the lady in the white hat and then this clock.
I want to congratulate our female vice president and female lawmakers at this point in time. There was something that was said with respect to the manifestos. I think too, numerous manifestos, we need to merge them, edit them, and come out with a documentation with respect to those things that are important and we move forward. Because having numerous manifestos will create a kind of a situation that would not be appropriate. So that's what I think.
And I think it's the same thing that Mariah said, the same thing the minister said, the same thing Honorable Fofana said. So let's pay attention so we're not repeating what the issues are. If I think after her it was Miss Clark first, and then our sister in the green and yellow, and then we'll go back to Grace and then
I just have a question.
We can hear you.
Sorry. I just have a question. You know, I'm trying to continue on track a little bit. There was a suggestion to the floor that set up a technical committee, you know, that will take care of all of these things. At the same time, I see us deliberating. So, you know, I'm wondering whether we are proceeding with the process or, you know, later on we will come up with a technical committee.
And we are proceeding with the process. The reason why we call others is to hear other opinions so that when we do it, you can say, oh, they just are in one corner and decided something. So it's good to hear from others. The only point I'm making is if the issue has already been raised, there's no need to repeat it. So if there's something outside of that that we can consider, the technical committee will take a look at it. So Ms. Clark, I'm sorry I call you Ms. Clark. What are your name? Chie. Not Chie. Don't speak for your name.
During the roadmap, I want to suggest that we look at the results from the Women Minimum Agenda during the Constitution Review process. The TV may expire, but I show this information are still very valid. And because, I mean, if the women issue can go at the level of the Constitution Review process, I think it's very important for us to consider that. I also want to suggest that we unpack the term women now because, I mean, we are kind of struggling as young women to see ourselves really fully participating. So I show that the honorable team can consider including young women into different level of participation. My final suggestion is towards research, at least to reflect the current realities of women in Liberia. So, me, as much as I congratulate the team for coming up with a website, which I know unemployment is a serious issue among young women, but if we can have for research that a study that we be able to provide realistic truth about the current situation of women in Liberia. Thank you.
Okay, I think it's still in line with the same issues that we were raising, race, and then we'll come back on the area and then we'll come here. Please.
Excellency, my able representatives and women, I want to say thank you very much for coming here. I just wanted to suggest or ask that they should please, as much as they can, include people. Me, I want to say they must include me on anything they do. Because when we're claiming on tables, on top of table, every meeting we went to, when I mentioned Joanne, they will cost me. I remember I want to say this. When Representative Young said it, and I want to say it. I remember I was in a meeting at the Longo office because my husband is related to the former vice president. As I got up to speak to women and say, what are we saying about the paper we wrote that we presented to the whole world? While I was in that meeting, my phone was ringing because somebody in that meeting already called my husband's family to tell him I was going to do a campaign. So I want to tell people the man leaving behind. Yes, I want to say you're a friend of the vice president. Yes, I'm a friend of the vice president. Even after the election was won, after we went to meeting right in the ministerial agenda. Right in the ministerial agenda, people are saying, even though they say they're happy for us to have seen the vice president, right there people were still talking. So there are meetings, there are women here in this group that must be in certain meetings. Because people will act like they come to the meeting because there is money coming to that town. I want to say it clear so that people who got this government are will be in that meeting. Ladies, I'm Emma Robinson. For my most of what I want to say, I think my colleagues talk about it, and so I will just be very short. So the technical committee, as early as it is, please work on your communication strategies also.
Me and my parliamentarian, we have dealt with that issue.
No.
That go to your recommendation.
Yes, the recommendation.
If we didn't call you, you have issue. That's why we are here.
No, nobody called me. It was by the skin of the team, Mami Joa.
You got, I need you here. Recommendation.
Yes, the recommendation is there should be a communication committee right now, either a chat room or some to disseminate information, especially for meetings and all of that to the women. Because there's few of us here. I mean, you know, we are more. So there's a need for the information to reach down to all of us. For meeting and for whatever.
So we are adding a communication committee.
I want to make some recommendation, but I want to say we breach protocol. Thank you for being selfless. I've never been in this chamber before where Vice President is sitting, people of the national legislature on the high table, and I can express my view. What has happened in the past, we're moving forward, and we are here because you are selfless. And so we'll move forward, and the theme, if the theme is given to me about this consultative forum, we will make the song the jingle. But we should have come to say thank you on behalf of the traditional people that are here. But you know, we got to learn and the new thing now to be recognizing the old people. They brought a welcome to say congratulations, and they are sitting there. Mama, come on now.
Okay, do it now.
Yes, but Mama Thomas sent this. So just wait, and she will bring it. No, the second recommendation, the consultative meeting is very important. And so instead of waiting for International Women's Day, we still have time that we can have the consultative meeting, and the International Women's Day can be actually celebration. So what we need to do, that technical team should sit together and find a date where the Liberian women can come up for their meeting. So that International Women's Day, we are celebrating the theme and the enthusiasm comes back. And if, you know, if there's no opposition, my dear, there can never be an election where somebody will win. The opposition make the election to be prosperous. Yes. So that when we come up with a candidate, that candidate becomes our leader. Yes. And whether you voted or you didn't vote, whether you made a comment, you did not make a comment, Chief Swakoko Joa Howard Taylor is our vice president, my people. Let's move forward.
Don't be patient. I see everybody. I put over the phone, put a hand up first, I will recognize them first. You not be listening to one about science, they will go to Papa Hour, they will come to the phone.
Okay. I'm saying, Excellency, the Vice President, and our great women of Liberia. First of all, I want to tell you thank you for coming. And for me, I just want that Bible leader. That's all. But in the election, there were some women that fight against their friends. I was standing here. Even when the president called, I wanted to say that one day, you can't say that in the church because you will soon go. We don't want to wait. But we can't mind all that because we are leaders. So for me, I just want us, please, that all work together. The women, they all share hands. Because we know if we are leading, you have to take it. So please, I just all forgive each other and share hands together and work together. Because for me, my strength is my women in my district. They can run my campaign. They can do everything. So now we can say, your commission is facing myself. You go your way, but we know we're going to campaign for you and you will. So I want all of you to eliminate my women then, the way they behave and the way we move together. So please, let all work together. Even though women, we have to work together. But two persons can be friends, one has to come down and others do our own way. Or we do that. Now we in F4. We are 115. We only have 25 women there. But the 25 women, they've been the power for more than the 85 men. Because when we get together, when our president said, this is the one we're going to do, we all go and sit and listen to her when she speak and finish. Nobody will try and say something. So please, I want us to be together like that. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm sorry I'm 18 years because I arranged meeting with my women and I'm going there now. And I don't want to tell you. So thank you very much. And we will continue to work together. Thank you.
First of all, I would like to tell God, thank you for a medical in women in Liberia. Grandma, I would like to tell you thank you. As a sister, as an auntie, you are able to stand like a man, Eddie. Julie, you see Liberia, when your man talking, I told you the last time, I said, when your man the penny talking, you will not do what you're supposed to do. When you may I forget, I will say that. Man, today, I tell you at this time, I tell you thank you. Because it will not easy on your sister. I will tell you thank you in the garden because it will not easy on me. Even if I tell you to put it out, I'll come to follow with tears. Everywhere I go, that tear. I go so that with tears. But I tell God, it will put that tear over dry with song. I tell God thank you. And the way you find me, you say that Bible, that people can't go like that. That is spread their feeling. When you feel no, you say, okay, that Bible be Bible. That's how my area used to do. It will call the women together. If they don't tell me, I will tell you. It will call all the women together. They want to go, I want to pay Bible, no money. I want to say open, no money. They want to finish talk everything. Then say, okay, what you want me to do? Or they person slap me, they person do them, they minister slap me, they minister do them, they might even say, okay, that Bible be Bible, don't do so. When you call them, they come to say like that. Yeah, everybody feel. Then you will come on and you say, oh, you're sorry, let Bible be Bible. It will be okay. They should let people view. Down, they're not up, they're not minister, they grow women, marketed, they see to their view.
I think
in Jesus' name.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
And maybe people misunderstanding. We said the first session when we having this retreat, we deal with all of those issues. They're not okay for it. Y'all please make recommendations. Because we need to wind this thing down. After all, then you want me. And then she before. Go ahead, man.
I have serious problems with my daughter, my friend. Say, wait. Are you the one? I think we came here today, your friend for all it. Like your friend and that the president for the vice president for all of us. We all here from different parties. They were not coming to be opposition, the party were not coming to be strong. So that your friend thinking good thing. I think this the baton now is supposed to go down because of the way your friend he knows he can do good things. But I want you to support it. You think so harsh. Same with thing today, Grace. I want to talk. The pressure and I'm feeling happy that somebody encouraged me to say that's why you can't be quiet. Boy, you need to be your friend. But the way you came with that kind of harsh talk, it was so bad. I woke up, I usually say something. Please, so they would have, they were say, now, peace. Yeah, but we'll do that thing, we're not finished. I don't need that thing. We have for peace. All our president, our president here for this. So thank you. Thank you, Mama. See me from the United Party, recognize me. That's too much more, baby. The other boy had a hand up first.
Okay, my name is Unan Kiakele, and I work for the community.
We're not drag everybody from their work. We can't stay there too long. So people are here. That's only else other than what the people have said.
Yes. I have a recommendation.
What is your recommendation?
And my recommendation is that as we'll be having the forum, and the forum is for 1 day, and I'm looking at the issue of reviewing the different policy documents that we have for women. So I recommend that we set up a committee that will review the documents and then take it to us at the meeting to review and see what we have done. Because with the limited time we have just 1 day, it will take a lot of time and we will not be able to do.
Thank you. There are 2 new committees that have been recommended, the Communications Committee and the Legal Committee, that will look at all of the documents to make the process short. Thank you very much.
I don't have to say it. She said exactly what I want to say.
All right.
Okay. You have to again. My name is Unam. Somebody spoke in regards to the date in March, the International Women's Day. And I would suggest that instead of us doing in March, because March is CSW, plenty of us, we got things on our mind that we want to express. So I would suggest that we have this meeting earlier than March, so that everybody will be here, because most of us will run the CSW and will not be around. So that's one of my concerns.
So date in February as soon as it's
yes, because this is very crucial. And number 2, this particular meeting is, I don't know why you're bringing all the whole manifesto and what. This thing is about bringing us together. And I think so. Okay, but I think it's all about what we Thank you, I'm protected. I think this meeting is about what's obtaining now. How to bring us as women together. So I think we should concentrate on that more than especially what Mona said about setting a committee to review all the old documents and they can come together with it. But mostly it should be centered around what's obtaining now. Thank you.
And it's not a bad idea, but we must operate within the ambit of the laws and what the agreement prior has been. So as we finish that day, we need to decide where we are, how we going forward, what are we going to do, which ones are possible, which ones are not. So it has to be two. Half of it is dealing with the issue you talk about. The second half is how do we look at what we are able to achieve.
And that first half, Madam Vice President, is I don't think that 2 hours is enough for us expressing our feelings.
The technical committee will look at that.
We need like 3 to 4 hours.
We'll never finish it, right?
Congratulations, Madam Vice President. I'm Faith Kesa from the Girls Alliance for Future Leadership. Today, this is my comment I can give to all who is in this building, and especially to our mothers, because I will say you guys are our mothers because you give birth to us. This Girls Alliance for Future Leadership, our prayer and our focus to you, Madam Vice President, is to please seek the young female in our country today, for female to be more educated, because nowadays in high school days, you don't find females putting their hands up or taking part in such things like that. So please, I'm asking you to please take note of it for us, the female, to be strong in our society. It couldn't be me, it could be another person another time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So the issue of mentoring should also be on our agenda, because we are not mentoring our young girls.
It's in the document.
So and then we'll come back to your bigger.
Madam Vice President, let me join the other women to say congratulations. I actually came here today to listen, but I've been compelled to speak. And what I want to say to the Liberian women, if we have to hold together, we have to let go of our feelings. We all got pains in our hearts. But because of Liberia, and because of the young woman that we have elected as Vice President, I will kindly appeal to us to focus on what will keep us going as women of Liberia, then going back to where we're coming from. Because we who Christians will say no going back to Egypt, and for me, Rose Little, we are not prepared to go back to Egypt. And secondly, what I want to recommend to you is every decision.
Childcare. Most times we have to come to these meetings to work, we have no one to take care of our kids, and they're left waiting around. That's a very important issue, so I'd like to add that.
I think it's under youth development.
It's in the program. They need to read it.
Protection.
I want to suggest or to appeal to all of us here that they student 18 come together as women, discuss something, let us stick to it. We shouldn't go again and start doing another thing. Let us stop the talk and walk the talk. We shouldn't just talk confidently.
Thank you. The last comment for her, and then we have to close.
Yeah, I think I want to
we have to take some decisions so that people can go quickly and come back with some information.
Madam Vice President, you know the political parties, women cannot be left out. So my plea is that I want the political parties, women to be part of the craft team, please.
Thank you. I think with that, I think there are no new amendments. Let me just go over some of the issues so that we can close. I think the first issue is expanding the technical committee. And hopefully you will agree to the suggestions that I would like to make. Wongoso is the Women NGO Secretariat, which represents all of the NGO secretariats you're talking about, all of the different groupings that are here. So I think Wongoso is on. So Wongoso is already on this steering committee. So I would like to suggest the NGOs, the other women NGOs that might have some suggestion to make, that you please channel it through her. So at the next meeting, which is as early as tomorrow morning, we will finalize where we are and then bring the suggestions as to how we hold this program. At least generally everybody agree that we need to hold this program as quickly as possible. So we'll add, Wongoso is already added there. We'll add the Ministry of Gender, which is an important component. We add coalition of political party women, and we have representatives from the Women Legislative Caucus. I think with that, it covers all of the bases. You all agree?
Yes.
So the technical committee, we're adding these groups to it. Can someone please, each of you who were not there, make the representation to Councillor Coleman of the representation that you have on this committee, so she'll know who to call. The Women Caucus can send 2 persons, Co-Bro can also send 2 persons, and the Ministry of Gender can decide how many persons they want to attend, so that at the meeting tomorrow morning we can finalize where we are. The second recommendation is that we look at the theme, and at that technical committee you can look at all of the issues and frame something that based on the recommendations that everybody has made. That we are adding a communications committee, so that whatever time we're setting this program for, that committee will be responsible to make sure that everybody is represented at the conference. I think that's important. The legal committee to work with gender and look at all of the legal instruments and bring a proposal. I think it will be helpful to us. Something on mentoring of young girls, I think on the youth agenda. And at the budget, the technical team will look at the budget and craft it to fulfill the wishes that we have. I think those are the critical issues. Did I forget anything? No. Georgia, that close. You're already there now. When you want to eat, come to get into it. Hey, man. We're being an AFL women to help with the AFL will try to help us look at the legal.
No, but the current leadership, they won't be part.
Having said all of these fine things, we said a bad one, we said a good one, at least we came up with one conclusion. I want to say a big thank you to everybody who came to this important meeting. At least now we all know our standing points, we know where we are going, we know what's happening around us. The Women's Conference Honorables, I want to say sorry because the calling was just sudden. But I'm happy that you all made it. You all came and you've heard what's needed. It's about us. It's about the women of Liberia. We can't give up. We got to keep trying until we get where we want to get. We are getting there already. We are almost there. So this thing is our thing. So let us keep up the torch and move forward. So again, once more, on behalf of the women of Liberia, Her Excellency, the Vice President Chief, Dr. Joel Howard Taylor, I want to say thank you to everybody for coming. Can a volunteer please close up?
Let's pray. Can we please all stand?
Please rise up.